All right, we got another awesome guest on our podcast today, and one and only, my lovely dear friend as well. At the same time, the partner of SHIP Startup Festival also, and Mr. Sami from East Coast OU. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Second day of SHIP Startup Festival, and really, it has been awesome ride once again.
Right.
Really happy to be here, and it's always fun to see smiling faces on events.
Oh yeah, and you've been with SHIP now for the past 3 years, if I understood. This would be the third, right?
Yeah, this is the third year.
And now you're a partner as well.
Oh yes. The first year we were just like a contractor for some parts of the events, and we've been partners now 2 years.
Right. Oh.
And this is one of the biggest projects every year that we do, and we are really honored to be the partners with the SHIP Startup Festival.
Right.
And because we as a company are also, because we're a young company,
right?
So we thrive also being around other entrepreneurs.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right. Definitely. So talk about, how did East Coast start? What was the starting point?
East Coast even started as me being it started because there was a situation where I got offered a festival called Dark River Festival.
All right.
And so I needed a company.
All right.
Then I started the company.
Right on.
Then I needed, of course, people around it. So I found really good partners and co-owners.
Right.
So now there's 4 owners in total, and 3 of us, me, Santeri, and Laura, we're who are running the company on day-to-day basis.
Right.
And but yeah, it started as a company for one festival.
Right.
But then COVID hit. So this happened like at the end of 2019, and 2020, as everybody,
we all know. Yeah. Right.
COVID hit, and so we're like, okay, what now? Everybody was unemployed. Everybody had time, so we started developing things and ideas, and so we started doing live streaming and all these like really niche business-to-business events for different companies, because companies still needed to do stuff and do events, but they couldn't do it in the same level and same kind like they had used to do it. So we were open-minded to do things a bit differently, and found different ways to do different things. So the company kind of evolved from the festival. We still the festival is still there, and it's a big part of the company. Like, that's our so-called baby.
Right.
We do that as that's what we want to do. We want to do that every year, and we want to develop that. We want to make that it moves forward.
Right.
But it's not. We don't consider it as much as a business.
Right. But that's the driving force.
Yeah, it's a driving force. Right. But yeah, nowadays on day-to-day things that we do is we do different kinds of events.
Right.
We rent out gear and furniture and infrastructure for events. As you can, like, where the mics, the tables, everything that we see here is like from our warehouse.
Right.
And we design events. We help customers for their events, and we're now also co-owners of one trade fair. It's more that we are also like really heavily involved So there's lots of things going on,
Right.
but it all around the end idea is to just help our customers on their troubles regarding events.
Right, right. How would you say that? I think it's least to say that your company has diversified in many different ways, right? It started from just like, let's say, music.
Yes.
Let's stick with music. Now it's diversified in all other aspects related to an entertainment environment, for sure. But still, diversification was there.
Oh, yes.
And how much importance would you give that a company should diversify? And of course, COVID was the best time in order to sit down on the table and start thinking again that, okay, what can we do now?
Oh yeah, like there's lots of sayings. I heard like one older salesperson that in order to, if you want to sell your one product,
All right.
you have to have 6 products.
Interesting. Exactly.
Yes, because that way your clients will buy the product that you actually are meant to sell. But for us, the diversity comes from the ownership. We come from different backgrounds of event industry. Like I have a really heavy history in a music world,
Absolutely.
like especially in a more heavy and as you can probably see my how I look.
Right.
And but yeah, I come from from music industry, and I've been working there like over 20 years in the different positions, and being from a project manager, from a tour manager to front of house engineer.
Right.
And of course, and Sander is coming from more like from an event, like
Production
event
management,
that kind of background. And Laura is coming from really like she worked over 10 years on on children events.
I see.
As a producer.
Right.
So we have different backgrounds. So that drives us to do different things.
Absolutely.
And of course, we have really good partners. Like, let's say, we do a lot of video productions.
Right.
But of course, I don't do those, or Sandri or Laura, but we have a really good partner that cooperates with us. And so it comes from under our roof.
Right.
And they are, so every aspect drives us to move forward, and we always want to find new ways to do this, our loved business.
Right.
And for us, every day when we go to work is a new opportunity.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Precisely. That keeps you on ground as well, and the challenges are always there. That's kind of in a way exciting, because you're like, okay, well, it's something new to do now. So something, to get out of your comfort zone. Let's do this, let's do that.
Oh yeah.
And before you know it, you've already done quite many things that you go like, oh yeah, I've been diversifying.
Oh yes.
So that is already coming from different backgrounds. Becoming the co-owners already have the ideas of going like, hey, we are not just sitting in one direction. We are not just going to do music and music things around it, but we're going to multiply it into apply the same things, but rather in the other fields which the other co-owners are coming from.
Oh yes. And because every aspect, every different thing that we do, enhances and helps the other aspects of our what we do.
Right.
So let's say the video production helps us to do events that has more interactive things and information and content. And our graphical, what we do graphics on the events, and helps us to do design, whatever, wallpapers, information videos, all kinds of different things. And the furniture business, furniture side is like that kind of walks along the side because we need these. So why don't we get this by ourselves to our own warehouse? We
Correct.
can use these in our own events. We can dry hire them and to someone else. Everything is intact to different
Each other.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But what would you say is the main, let's say three of you, Santeri, you and Laura.
Yeah.
The main, let's say the common aspect which brought you guys together was music. Or does.
No.
That's the interesting part. Exactly.
What brought us together was that we all love doing events.
Right on.
And we want to do events that has quality. Like quality is our where we aim. That's like we want to have we want to do events that looks good, feels good, and enhances the brand of the customer.
Right.
Like we understand the idea that if you do business to business event, it's not just doing an event. It has some sort of it has to have some sort of a value beyond the event itself. So that thrives us together like quite a lot. And of course, we knew each other. Like we weren't friends. We weren't like friends in a way that we hung out. Like we knew each other, but of course now that we are really binded together, the friendship has developed and gone deeper. But the original idea was that we all wanted to do better events.
Right.
We wanted to do them better. We wanted them to look better. We wanted to have better experience.
Right. So how did you three come about together? Like how did you get to meet Santeri? How did you get to meet Laura? How did you decide that, hey, okay, we'll join our forces now?
Somehow, well, with Laura, it happened in a way. Laura found out that I started a company.
Right.
So we met in a grocery store. And she said that, oh, you have a new company, I'm gonna work for you.
Okay.
And I said, I have nothing. But I'll keep you in mind. And a week later, I called her and said, yeah, I need you. Let's sit down and find a way.
Right.
And things moved forward, and then she became a co-owner. And with Santeri, I knew him through the technical side of what I've been doing, and I heard that he was thinking to start similar kind of a company.
Right.
So I called him up and said, "Hey, let's sit down. I already have this company.
Idea and the company that's going around.
Everything is. So would you like to join?"
Right.
My company. And he was like, yeah, sure. And we started from there.
Right. But how did you know Laura?
I've been as a sound engineer on the children events.
Right.
That she has produced.
Right on.
So we went to the same school in a high school and we have a long history.
Right. So, I mean, my point, the reason for asking was this, that the people who are watching, for instance, if they want to start up something new and go along with that if they have the idea, even joining forces with the people that you know can push your own ideas to the next level already.
Yes.
And that's the whole concept. That's why the common ground, of course, as we talked about, was basically the events, right?
Yes.
At the end of the day, you are originally coming from the music world. Santeri coming from the production world.
Yeah.
Laura coming from the event world on its own. And joining forces with has the common ground as event
Yes.
management or event planning or just production as per se. And for the new people, I think, or the people who want to start up something new and have an idea and so on. But yet again, if you do join forces with the common ground as knowing the other people coming from different sectors, with the common ground having in mind, it can enhance so much for your idea already there.
There's a old saying that you need like three persons to form successful company. You need the guy who has the idea.
Right on.
You need the guy who has money.
Right
and
on.
You need a lawyer. In order that keeps the first two persons in line.
Exactly.
But for how I see it, that you need to find people that are willing to work as much as you want to work.
Yeah.
But you don't have to have 100% same idea, but it has to have kind of same direction.
Right.
Because then the diversity creates, it enhances the idea more. If you have, let's say you have 2 other friends or 3 other friends, and you all have precisely the same idea where you want to go, you probably will get to a certain level fairly fast. But then because the everybody has the same idea,
Correct.
it kind of stops somewhere. How we do it, that, well, not weekly, but we try to sit down as much as we can, like let's say every 2 or 3 weeks, and just bounce ideas, like just so-called go nuts with you. Like let's forget about if there's a financial side at all. What is the ideas,
Right.
the ideas, and then we
Brainstorming
we're
around.
brainstorming a lot, and because that creates the more ideas, so to speak, and
Out of the box.
out
ideas.
of the box. And
Right.
sometimes they're really, really wacky. Like, and a lot of the ideas never will go into a production.
Right.
But for instance, the idea for this year's Ship Startup Festival,
Right.
the stage that we created here, that's a custom-made pier
Right.
that has never been done.
Right.
And but originally the idea for the pier came 3 years ago,
Right.
as this kind of like a brainstorming.
Brainstorming,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
yeah.
it would be super awesome to do an event in Vellamo, because it's a maritime museum, and make the stage as a pier.
Right.
But no realistic event came up.
Right.
So we kind of just let it like,
Sit around.
yeah, we let it sit around. And now that Ship Startup Festival returned to Vellamo, and 10-year anniversary, we're like,
Perfect timing.
hey, now we already have kind of like a
Foundation for the
sketch plan.
Yeah. Right.
So let's do this. Let's introduce this the idea for the ship people, if they are keen to like it, and they were
Exactly.
like, oh, this sounds phenomenal, and
Right.
and it. To be honest, at least for me, it looks really good, really nice.
Oh, it does. It
and
certainly does. It's
really
great.
unique.
Yeah.
And but those kind of ideas, you have to bounce around, because, and sometimes we're talking on when we're brainstorming, like I might come up and say, I have a new business idea. We need to start doing this, and Sandra and Laura are like, you sure? Like, no, hear me out. And then I'll pitch my idea for them, and then we rarely move forward from those kind of ideas. But we we leave them on a sketch paper,
Right.
and we go back and forth on those ideas.
Right.
And the idea, like what drives me a lot, is to have this kind of really that we always have a momentum
Correct.
moving forward,
Right.
to thinking outside of box, thinking new, and that's what I like to be an entrepreneur.
Right, right. But the most important thing that we can kind of like get out of it is the fact about brainstorming completely away from whatever possibilities there are that you're doing right now. And even just think of the wildest ideas.
Yeah.
And doesn't matter, because even if you think of the wildest ideas, you never know that they might come to it's in its form after several years or something like that. But if you don't even have that when the opportunity comes around, and if you're not ready for it, you're like, okay, I do have the opportunity now. What do I do now?
Yeah. And also what I've noticed that at least for us, we always have we have a long-term goals.
Right.
Of course, we have set goals where we want to go with the company, and where we want to see ourselves let's say in 5 years, and that. But then we have these short-term goals.
Right.
And those like that. Now those are always that. For instance, when we started the company, we set the goal that we want to have our own tents and tables and seating for the festival.
Right.
That's our goal. We need to have those. It took 2 years. Now we have.
There you go. Yeah.
We have those, but it needs to be said out loud. Like those, like really, even though they're small things, but you need to set the goals. You need to go forward. You need to say it out loud that we want to go there. We want to reach there as fast as we can.
Right.
Then you'll start moving towards
along the way. You'll find the ways.
You'll start to find the ways. You
Right.
start to find people or. Find the financial side or whatever you need, but if you don't say it out loud, then it kind of stays inside your brain and your mind, and it never becomes reality.
Correct.
So you need to talk,
Right.
talk and brainstorm and make ideas, create ideas,
Correct.
and make goals. Where
Precisely.
you aim.
It's like the same way which I had the pleasure of seeing yesterday for the first time. Now you guys are proud owners of a restaurant.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. So that came about right around the corner.
Oh yeah. And
Right.
that also, the story behind that is that yes, we brainstormed that someday we will have a restaurant.
There you go.
That was just the that was the idea, that
Right.
someday we will have a restaurant. Then the call came up. Our good friend of ours called me and that, hey, Cairo is city of Kotka is looking for new owners for Cairo. Would you be interested to join me to co-partner with and if we can apply to be the new owners? I'm like, yes. Like that
There you
call
go.
came up, and if I would have said no on that call, we wouldn't be there. Like,
But even that yes came because the brainstorming was done.
Yeah, it required that
Right.
there wasn't like a seed of an idea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was sitting in the shelf of the ideas that, okay,
Yes.
if an opportunity comes, that's what I was telling about earlier, is the idea behind that. If you don't brainstorm, and if that call came to you and you would have said no, or you would have said like, hold on a minute, we need to brainstorm about it now,
Yes.
then the opportunity is kind of gone already.
Yeah, because sometimes those kind of opportunities, especially with other people,
Right.
you need to be able to make those quick decisions. They're
Precisely.
not. You can't wait 6 months.
No.
That
Yes or
Should
no?
I?
Yeah.
Maybe I need
that
to.
already is kind of like a no. When you
Yeah.
should I, would I, could I? That means you're not ready for it.
Oh yeah,
If there's not an immediate yes,
yeah,
that means you're not actually ready for it. You need to nurture your idea inside or build the idea inside that, okay, should I do it or not?
Yeah.
Would I be able to do it or not? Like it's the same way that when for this podcast
Yeah.
thing, when Santri told me that, hey, okay, we're putting you up for the podcast stuff. I was like, all right,
yeah.
ready to go.
And this is like these are the things that drives the events forward.
Exactly.
Like the power of like you need to utilize everything
Correct.
out of the short moment that you are that the event lasts.
Yes.
And these kind of things are the ways that you can utilize and you can have the maximum potential
Outcome.
and outcome.
Right.
And these are I don't like sometimes I don't understand why organizers doesn't utilize that much of the opportunities that they put in the events. And I highly encourage everybody that are organizing an event to utilize all the aspects that you can. Everything is doesn't have to be monetized, so to speak, but at least take the opportunity and utilize it and make the best out of it.
Correct. Sami, thank you so very much for coming on the podcast. But what would be the last words that you could say for startups to encourage them, to motivate them? What could be the way that you started? What were the things that you wish you would have known would have pushed the things forward earlier?
For me, I would say have courage and have courage to take the steps. And if you have the knowledge, the means, and those will come. And talk to people. Talk to people around you and be open.
Thank you so much, Sami, for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
And lots of success in the future.
Thank you very much.
And it's been a great event. It is still going on.
Oh, yes.
And it is still going strong. And of course, we will be doing great things together for sure.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much.
Thanks, buddy.